going on, good people? How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Surprise Wednesday. Happy training camp day. What's going on, everybody? How we doing, man? Let me turn this music down just a little bit. Shout out to the people already in the building. Shout out to Luann in the building. My man Side Guy Bry in the building. What's going on, kind sir? How you doing tonight? Just felt like talking about the Giants for a little bit. You see the title of the stream just says quick chat. Wanted to talk about some things that we saw, that we read today and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, just felt like talking a little bit. Didn't want to plan anything out. Just want to talk about what we saw today. So, first off, how's everybody doing? I know for some people, you might already have your pajamas on, ready to go to bed. Talking about Dash, what are you doing? I'm ready to go to sleep. I appreciate you guys for vibing with me. And again, we're going to keep it quick. DeMarco, what's going on? Says, yo, Dash, what's good, brother? You tell me what's good, brother. I feel good. The New York Giants were on the field today. I feel fantastic. Fantastic. Again, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the video, if the visual is good. Give me a thumbs up or just let me know I'm good in the comment section. That'll do. But yeah, man. Yeah, the Giants were on the field today. Saw a lot of clips. I like what I saw from Russell Wilson. I like what he said at the podium after practice. It's been a while. And the first thing I think about when I think about Russell Wilson now is just the New York Giants have a leader at quarterback. Despite how you feel about if you think he's washed or not, if you think he got a little bit left in the tank, or if you think he still got a lot of gas left in the tank, one thing you can't say is that Russ is not a good leader, especially for what the New York Giants need right now. One of the youngest teams in the NFL. You need a veteran presence. Why not? Why not Russell Wilson leading the squad right now? So I do want to talk about some things, though, because Joe Shane and Brian Dable at the podium, they had a brief presser. And obviously we got the news about Andrew Thomas yesterday. He's going to be starting on the PUP list. But today they try to give, some more confidence to the fan base, saying that, they don't think he's going to be on the PUP list for a long time. So I'll take that as some good news. But I will say this also. If Andrew Thomas ain't ready, don't rush him. And that's exactly what both of those guys said today. They said he'll be on the field when he's ready to be on the field. And I respect that. As long as the backup plan works out. And right now, today we saw that the backup plan was James Hudson at left tackle. Shout out to all the content creators that were in the building as well. Shout out to all the beat writers. Shout out to the fans that were in there. So if you were one of the lucky people that were at practice, let me know in the comment section. Ryan, what's going on, Ryan? I believe I saw you were at the practice, right, Ryan? If I'm not mistaken, I believe you were there, right? There was a couple people here, man. A couple people. My man Kyler says, quick. Yeah, okay, Dash. Nah, it's gonna be quick, man. It's gonna be quick, man. I'm old. I need my sleep. It's gonna be quick, man. Nah, I promise. I got things to do anyway. So I can't be on here too long. Plus, tomorrow I might do another recap for second day of practice. I am happy for Monday's practice though. Monday's practice is supposed to be the first padded practice. Almost feel good enough to call out of work for that one. I can't wait for the padded practice, man. I can't wait for the padded practice. Let me do another quick roll call. My man OKC Donald's in the building. He says, Dash, the consistency, we love it. Kelvin Davis, what's going on? He says, in the building, big bro Dash. What's going on, Kelvin? Luann said, I saw your video after I got home. Thank you for the love and support, as always. Luann, one of the day ones there for sure. My man, New York State of Mind, said, BDK, what's going on? What's going on? All right, my man Anthony Green in the building said, what's good, Dash? What's going on, Anthony? What'd you say, Saga? Says, great, now the TC is buzzing. Is it buzzing right now? Is it? And again, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Let the algorithm know that we in the building, so we can let other Giants fans know that we in the building. We talking Giants for a little bit, man. So also, I'm also happy that Brian Dable let it be known that Russell Wilson is going to be the starter. With all of the narratives that have been building up the past couple of weeks, especially on sports media, ESPN, Fox Sports, everybody saying, when is Jackson Dart going to start? Brian Dable took the initiative today to say, you know what? No, I'm just going to let you guys know right now. Russell Wilson is the starter. Everybody else is competing, which I thought was interesting too, because a lot of people going into this season, we're like, Russ is 1, Jameis is 2, Jackson Dart is 3. No. What they said was it's open after Russ. Russ is the starter, and the rest of the guys will be competing. We know what that means. At the end of the day, it's most likely. Well, I can't even say most likely. But we have a good feeling that eventually Dart will move into that number 2 spot in front of Jameis Winston, and then the rest is going to be history after that. Money Mike says almost preseason. That's a fact. Right around the corner. The Hall of Fame game, I believe, is in 2 weeks for the Hall of Fame game. And then after that, it's going to be football. And then more football all the way until February. Best time of year. College football, regular football. Yeah, I'm excited for that. My man Ghost Dog, what's going on, Ghost Dog? Yeah. He says, peace and salute, Dash. The energy was on full display on the field today. Were you out there, Ghost? Let me know if you. I want to know anybody that was out there. Let me know, please, because that's exactly what I couldn't see from the screen, from the clips, was that what the energy was like on the field. I did see it on the podium. I saw Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors looked happy, like genuinely happy. He was smiling when he was talking about Russ. First thing he said, he's a great leader. Might have something to do with the 3 touchdown passes he caught today too from Russ. Put a smile on your playmaker's face. As far as health goes, everybody else was healthy. Everybody else was a full go. Only people on the PUP list right now, Andrew Thomas, and then Eric Gray. And that's a win for me right now. And again, I don't know what the injury is with Andrew, not Andrew Thomas, but with Eric Gray. Didn't know he was injured. I don't know if I care as much, respectfully. But yeah, man, only 2 guys on the PUP list. That's fantastic for the New York Giants because you know how we run. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. My man DeMarcos, do you think there's a massive talent difference between the offense and the defense? Right off the bat, talking about paper, yes. On paper, yes. One thing I will say, though, about the offense is a lot of it is unproven, and we're waiting to see what happens. When we look at the defense, your first instinct is to say, yes, the defense is more talented. There's a lot of potential on this offense, depending on how well the quarterback's playing, how well the offensive line holds up. If we can get the ball to the playmakers, then this offense, should narrow that gap a little bit. But right now, I do think there's a difference. Now, I wouldn't say a massive difference, but there's definitely a difference between the offense and the defense. Love this defense, though. Love this defense. And I'm not arguing against that either. That's just my point of view. Okay, so Ryan, you were at camp. He says, what up, Dash? Had a great time at camp today. That's a fact. And he said, yeah, it was awesome. MKM said, did I go to training? No, I didn't go to training camp. I'm not going to training camp this year. I thought about it. But I would much rather, if I'm going to fly all the way back to the East Coast, I would much rather go to a real game than to do that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. Says, salute, Dash. What's going on, Jorge? Nice to see you here, man. He said, looking forward for Monday for sure. Yeah. The padded practice. Yeah, that should be a good one. I heard today practice was pretty good. You can't tell from the clips though. If you're on Twitter, it looked like the offense was having a heck of a day. You saw touchdown passes from Jackson Dart. You saw an interception from Jackson Dart as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Jameis Winston, touchdown to Scatterbull. You got Russell Wilson, touchdown to a lot of people. 3 to Malik Neighbors. I believe he had 1 to Tyrone Tracy also. They worked a lot in the red zone. So it's going to be heavy touchdowns when you're working in the red zone, or at least you would hope to when you're dealing from the 10 to 5 yard line going on the way in. You should get a lot of touchdowns. Unfortunately, Tommy DeVito went 2 for 3 with no touchdowns. I believe that was on 11 on 11s. But at the end of the day, I saw what I wanted today. And one of the key things that I like to point out when I talk about quarterbacks, and I said it in the video that I put out earlier, is the timing. You see the difference when it comes to Russell Wilson. Even Jameis Winston too. That touchdown he had to Scatterbull, the little out route. Timing was perfect. Ball placement was perfect. Scatterbull got the catch, turned up field for the touchdown. And that's the main thing. When you have good ball placement and good timing, no wasted movement for the receiver. Malik Neighbors caught an out route as well. And you see him catch the ball, get upfield, no wasted movement. He didn't have to reach far for it. He didn't have to jump for the pass or anything like that. The ball placement was fantastic. The only bad ball that I saw in Eclipse was that first pass to Malik Neighbors, the fade against Deontay Banks, and Deontay Banks was able to break it up. I think it was more of a bad pass from Russ than just a great play from Deontay Banks, but I don't want to take anything away from Deontay Banks if it's going to be a confidence builder. Shout out to my man Jonathan Pride in the building. Let me go ahead and get this queued up. Shout out to my man Jonathan Pride in the building with the $10 super chat. We're gonna do
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
That's a fact. He says, my guy, see you Saturday. GoPro camera ready. Let's go Giants. That's a fact. I'm glad you're going to be there, man. Hopefully you enjoy yourself, and hopefully they put on a good practice for everybody that's going to be in the building for Saturday. For a lot of people that work and are not able to get to the weekday practices, Saturday's probably going to be packed, though, for sure. For sure. I think it's going to be packed on Saturday. Hopefully you get there early and able to get yourself a seat, man. My man, Black Freezy. What's going on, Black Freezy? He says, peace to the chat. That's a fact. Shout out to everybody. My man, James in the building. What's going on, James? He says, I went to the first day of camp and I was impressed. I'm so glad we have Russell Wilson at QB1. I'm ready for a good season. That's pretty much sums it up right there, man. That pretty much sums it up. We went from a guy. Actually, I don't want to keep, beating a dead horse, and I won't do that. I'm just happy that we got Russell Wilson in the building. It's a difference on the field. It's a difference behind the mic, podium, pause. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm happy that we got Russell Wilson here. And it's great. I was just watching the presser before I came in here to to start the live stream, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm at peace. I got a calmness about me. I feel confident in Russell Wilson. Again, I'm not saying Super Bowl or anything like that. I'm just saying, as far as the New York Giants being respected, I should say. And as far as that goes, I'm happy with Russell Wilson being the guy right now to lead this team of young players, to the next step or the next stage in this regime for sure. Dre Handy, what's going on? He says, yo, Heart and Finish Kennels. What's going on, Hart? Let's see if I make sure I don't miss anybody. We definitely got to show the chat some love. Luann says, I'm worried about Neighbors' toe problem. He should have had the surgery. Yeah, he did talk about that today. They said he had a good rehab. It's still something that they're managing. He said that surgery wasn't completely off the table this off season, but once you get close to the season, you don't want to miss any time. So right now he's just going to let it heal naturally and manage it. And there's nothing that we can do about it right now. Because you definitely don't want to shut him down, especially the beginning of the season. But I do believe, like you, as soon as this season is over, if I'm him, go ahead and get the surgery done. Go ahead and fix it permanently. That way you don't have this nagging injury, because guess what? You're 21 years old. Yeah, I don't think your toe is going to get any better healing by itself. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. Ryan says, been loving all your new videos and lives. Also hit 200 subs. Salute to you yesterday, too. So it's been a good week. No, salute to you. I'm happy that you hit 200 subs. And again, anybody in here, if you're not subscribed to my man Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, make sure you go over there and show that man some love and help him out, man. Get them subs up. I believe everybody in here is most likely subscribed to you, Ryan. But yeah, keep working, man. Keep being consistent. And that's how you get off the ground, man. You're doing a fantastic job already, though. Absolutely. I wish I started at a young age like you. Who knows, where we would have been if I started, 20 years ago. Hey, I don't even know how old you are, Ryan. I know you're young. And shout out to you, then. I wish I had that type of focus at that age. And yeah, man, keep doing your thing. I saw a comment about Hyatt. Side Guy Bra says, I don't care where Hyatt plays as long as he balls out. Yeah, and you know what's crazy about that is, so I saw a comment on Twitter, and somebody was talking about all the targets to Neighbors today, and those would have been Hyatt targets. If Neighbors was still out to the side. Listen, man, at the end of the day, when it comes to Hyatt, and you guys know I love Hyatt, man. I'm rooting for Hyatt. I never thought that he was going to be more than like the wide receiver 3 or 4 option. Right now, he has to be able to survive and take advantage of the opportunities that he gets. He was out there on the field today. I know he had left minicamp the first day of minicamp with like a leg injury, but you saw him out there today, so he's fully healthy and ready to go. Russell Wilson did talk about him as well, made sure that he dropped his name on the podium today. that's one thing about Russell Wilson too, man. He cues in on guys that he feels not necessarily are checked out, but what's the best way to put it? Guys that might be, a little bit worried or unsure of themselves a little bit, and he likes to put those guys or place those guys to the forefront. And he talked about Jalen Hyatt today when nobody else talked about Jalen Hyatt today, and I do appreciate that. And that's what good leaders do. That's what leadership is. You want to raise everybody up, and that's what Russell Wilson does, and it seems seamlessly. So I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy with it. Solitary Camp says, "Can we cut the BS? We not good." Well, we got a couple of months before we find out for real, and up until that time, we good till we ain't. That's where I'm at right now. You can't tell me anything different. We are good until we're not good, and right now the New York Giants are good. That's where I'm at right now. Check back in the first week of October. You might get a different answer. But right now, they ain't trying to hear that, man. Shout out to Solidarity Camp doing in the building. Ryan says vibes are awesome, man. Carter doing backflips. I did see a clip of Carter doing backflips. Listen, I don't want him doing backflips, man. I understand he had the energy. I don't need you doing backflips before practice. You don't need to entertain the fans that much. Entertain them with the play on the field going through your drills. I don't need no unnecessary backflips from a 250-pound outside linebacker. I'm happy that you have the athleticism to do a backflip. I don't need to see it, though. I really don't. I really don't. I might be saying too much, but I really don't. My man Bill Whaley says, how did Scatterbo look? Was he putting in work? As far as I know, well, Scatterbo did pretty well. He did have a touchdown from what I saw. Again, they're not in pads yet. One thing that P. Dot said is that Scatterbo has soft hands. It caught the passes that were targeted to him, and that's all you can expect right now before the pass come on. Now Monday, Bill, let's check in on Monday when they put the pads on and we can see exactly what's going on. That'll be the day for the running backs in the offensive line in the trenches to get the pad work in, and we'll really know exactly how Scatterbo is doing. I'm hoping that his game translates to the next level. I think it will. I'm just hoping that it does too. Ghost Dog says, I wish, but my eyes was glued to every clip today, and it looked like a vibe. Yeah, no, it did. It looked good. And again, from all the clips that I saw, you would think that like the offense was having a day. And then Arch Stapleton had his quick recap on Twitter. I think it was like a 2-minute recap, and he let it be known that the defensive front was getting to the backfield often today. And they was getting there. I didn't see any of those clips, but again, first day of camp, they want to see offense. And that's what we saw. We saw touchdown after touchdown. We did see, again, the interception from Jackson Dart, and then some people made it a big deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal because he's learning. He's developing. He's not the starter for 2025. We already know that. For the people that didn't know that Jackson Dart wasn't going to be a starter in 2025, maybe that surprised some people. But no, he got a lot of development to do. In that play also, it wasn't like he just had a horrible pass. It was a good play, good read by Nick Jones. I put it on the video. I zoomed in. Nick Jones on that play never took his eyes off of Dart. He never took his eyes off him. And when he was ready to throw, he broke on the ball. Pick 6 to the house, to the residence. Great play by Nick Jones. The pass, it would have been a completion. But no, Nick Jones jumped the route, man. Again, things that he has to learn, the subtleties of quarterbacking at the next level. He said it at the podium at the end of minicamp. He said one thing about the NFL and this next level is that at college, we should at this level, you think you throw a good pass, and then all of a sudden somebody knocks the ball down. In this case, he thought he threw a good pass, turned it to a pick 6. He's learning, and this is the best place to learn. Cop Pizzle had Cop Pizzle was on Twitter too. He had a comment about that, and he was like pretty much about the interception because we already know how Cop Pizzle feels about Jackson Dart. Loves him, wants him to play right away type deal. And I have a friendly banter back and forth with Cop Pizzle. I call Jackson Dart a brisket. You can't cook a brisket fast. It got to be low and slow in order for it to be good. And to me, that's exactly what we have to do with Jackson Dart. We got to develop him low and slow, and get the best product out of him when he's ready to go. When he's ready to go. Some news though on the defensive side. Cordell Flott running with the ones still. They had the first group run out there. Cordell Flott was opposite of Poston Adebo right away with the first group. Now, Tay Banks did get in and did have a lot of reps, a lot of one-on-ones against Malik Neighbors. He did break up one pass in the touch in the end zone. But at the end of the game, Neighbors did what Neighbors does, and he beat Tay Banks the end practice for a touchdown too. I believe that was a fade route in the end zone. Had a little bobble, but he caught it. And that's how they ended practice today. So it's a competition, a real competition between Flott and Tay Banks, and we'll see what happens, man. Solitary says Eric Gray sucks. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. I thought he was going to be a little bit better. He didn't take advantage of the opportunities. Now, Oklahoma, he had some wiggle to him. He was never like he never broke off like the big run, but he was good for a 20-yard game off of shaking somebody. He just didn't get a chance to do that with the Giants. And it's going to be a hard room to crack, as far as this running back room this year, and we'll see what happens. I think he's definitely on the bubble for sure. For sure. My man Ryan replying to Bill says, Scat had a really good day. Tough to judge running backs because of no pads yet, but he was solid. Nah, that's the same thing I was saying, man. We got to wait for the pads to come on for that. My man Born for Sports says, I know it's just day one of training camp, but I can't help but feel righteous seeing Russ highlights to Wandell, seeing the quarterback throw with timing, anticipation. Haven't seen it in 7 years. Now, that's a fact. That pass to Wandell is how he opened up. Was that 7-on-7 then, or was that 11-on-11? I think that might have been 7-on-7 that pass to Wandell. Pretty much was like his first pass. Little corner route. Actually, no, it wasn't a corner route. They lined Wandell Robinson up. He came out of the backfield because Micah McFadden ended up having that assignment. And he beat, it was a corner route. He beat Micah McFadden, to the corner of the end zone. Great ball placement, great timing, touchdown. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's, right? Better quarterback, better timing, touchdown. Dennis, what's going on, Dennis? How you doing, man? Anthony Green says, haters hitting me up about Dart's pick 6. No worries. It's just that's exactly, man. It's no need to worry about it, man. It's no need to worry about it. He learned a lot from just that one pass. He did think 2 plays after that, he had the touchdown to Theo Johnson. So listen, man, you live and you learn. The one thing that they said was, Jackson Dart says after that interception, Russell Wilson came right up to him and said, next play. You know what I mean? That's that leadership that you don't even worry about it. Next play. And it's just the little subtle things like that. Well, yeah, we really got a leader in the locker room. A few of them. A few of them. Nah, shout out to them, man. MKM, he says, this season I want New York Giants to get revenge and put fear in the NFL. It's all about respect for me, MKM. It's about getting our respect back. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Well, it might be different for the people that live in the New York, New Jersey area. It might be a little bit different for you guys because, I'm assuming the majority of the people that you're around are Giants fans or possibly Jets fans or whatever. When you don't live in that tri-state area, and you get into these football conversations and people ask you, well, they never have to ask me what team I root for because I normally got a New York Giants hat on for the most part. But, they ask you, who your team is. You say New York, and then sometimes you see a face, you see eyebrows raised because of the pain. But listen, man, I want our respect back first. We could talk about that fear stuff, but guess what? It's coming. Pause. But it's on the way, man. This defense, it's on the way, man. It's definitely on the way. Born for Sports says, heard pass rush as good as advertised from my 330 crew who were there today. Nah, that's the same thing Art Stapleton said. As advertised, they said Tibbs had a fantastic. They said Burns had a couple of rush passes, and I think he had a deflection as well. But yeah, we didn't see those plays. So again, all we saw All we saw was the offense doing it. We saw the one defensive clip, or actually two defensive clips that they highlighted, was the Tay Banks breakup versus Malik Neighbors, and then also the Pulse and the Debo breakup in the center of the end zone, or the middle of the end zone against Slayton. Those are the only two defensive plays that they hyped up today. And then I found out later about, how that defensive front did. What I did, what's crazy? Somebody let me know, man, when you guys were watching practice, right? Watching the defense, who was on the field first? Was it Tibbs or was it Abdul Carter? Because that's one question. I tried to ask that to Bobby Skinner too during his live, but I think he was wrapping up. He didn't see my question. But I want to know anybody that was Ryan, let me know. Ryan, you let me know. When the defense was out there for the 11 on 11s, was it Tibbs out there first, or was it Abdul Carter out there first, or were both on the field at the same time? Let me know, Ryan, if you're still in the chat. My man DeMarco says, do you think Hyatt should play the slot receiver because that's what he's best at? In college, that's all he played, and he was a dog at this spot. Short answer is yes. Yes. And it's funny, too, because Neighbors had a similar answer, too, when he said in college he played mainly slot, which he did. But he just has that freakish talent to be able to play outside and inside. But as far as Hyatt goes, absolutely. And it's crazy, too, because it's kind of like how we treat the offensive linemen. Like if you drafted somebody that has a specific skill or has excelled in a certain spot, and then you change their spot at the NFL level, not even changing it in the college, at the college level, changing it in the NFL level, then you're gonna see some struggles. Hyatt said himself he wants to be able to work in the slot because that's what he does best. He said he did get stronger so that he can play on the outside and be more physical in his routes. Because a lot of people, when they talk about Hyatt, they either talk about his ability to run routes, which I don't think he has an issue with running routes. I think he was too weak and was getting bullied into his routes or out of his routes and out of his throwing lanes. And that put that whole, we can't trust Hyatt. Because again, if we can't trust you to be where you're supposed to be, and not because you can't run the routes, but because you're not strong enough to fight that cornerback, then that's absolutely a problem. The man put the weight on, he got stronger, and hopefully we see that, in training camp and definitely in preseason because he's going to play a lot in the preseason. My man Prince, what's going on, Prince? He says, if Dable dislikes you, you don't stand a chance. Dable don't like Hyatt. Shout out to my man Prince Castro. What's going on, bro? Ryan, you only 17, Ryan? Salute to you, man. Listen, you doing your thing. And you started very early, man. And shout out to you. 200 subs, 17 years old. Sky's the limit for you, man. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, brother. TD Midas says untapped potential is what you're looking for, Dash. That's a fact. Untapped potential. That's what it is when it comes to this offense. From Theo Johnson, to Thomas Fedoni, to Daniel Bellinger. Tyrone Tracy still hasn't shown us exactly what he is yet. We're still waiting to see what Cam Scatterbull is going to do. Is he going to translate? We kind of have an idea of what Malik Neighbors is. He can be 10 times better than what we saw last year with better quarterback play. Like there's a lot of potential on this offense. I don't see it as a weakness. I don't see it as a hole or a lack in talent. I just see it as unproven right now outside of, Malik Neighbors. One thing that Rush should be able to do this season is let us know exactly who Darius Slayton is, Wan'Dale Robinson is, Theo Johnson is. We should know exactly who these guys are with better quarterback play, man. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. I'm a little bit behind on the chat too, brother, so don't even worry about it. Jonathan Pryor said, raise everybody up. Is this? Come on, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. Everybody. That's pushing it. Shout out to my man Jonathan Pride, man. Captain of the Catch You Slipping Committee, for sure. Luann says, I don't want negative fans in here. Listen, it is what it is, man. I appreciate the negative fans. I appreciate the point of view. I appreciate the debates. It's corny if everybody was thinking the same, in my opinion. I like to be positive. I like to have some optimism. But you guys know, you guys been watching me long enough. If things start looking dark, I'll get dark too. As a matter, Luann, Yeah, I get dark too, man. If things ain't going the way that I think they should go, I'm going to voice my opinion. And so I respect everybody's opinion. So, it is what it is. If you feel like the man is negative, you can feel that way as well. I'm trying to change his point of view though. So, and hopefully I can do that. Hopefully, he feels a little bit better, during the live. You know what I mean? MKM says it's time for the New York Giants organization to redesign the uniforms with Giants name on the jerseys and bring back the Giants helmet name. Current uniforms, current uniforms, especially for away uniforms, looks cheap. You know what? I thought about that too, because we got the NY like right on the collar, right? If we don't get the Giants on the helmet, if we don't make that change, which is probably not going to happen this year, unless they surprise us. How about we get the Giants across the collarbone? I mean, across the collar. I wouldn't mind that. Right where the NY is now, go ahead and put the Giants there if we can't get the Giants on the side of the helmet. You know what I mean? Baby steps, right? We've been asking for a long time, though. But baby steps. My man Dennis says, I fear Hyatt is going to be one of those receivers with the crazy speed, agility, acceleration, but is 67 rated every new release of Madden. He might not even be a 67, man. He might have. And listen, I didn't even play Madden 2025. I didn't even buy the game last year. I'm getting the game this year. I'm dusting off. I'm dusting off the PlayStation, the PS5. And I'm definitely getting on the sticks, pause for Madden for sure. Luann, yes, he did. He had a good day. Again, we'll see Monday though with the pads come on. I want to see him run through somebody. T. Mark Molden says, Giants salute. Hey Dash, do you think Neighbors and Tracy Jr. will get 1,000 yards? Yes. Listen. Depending on how his toe holds up for Malik Neighbors, Malik can crack 15 this year, in my opinion. I think he can crack 15, 1,500 yards for sure. I think that can happen. Tyrone Tracy combined, I think he cracks 1,000 combined. I got him somewhere around 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards combined for the season. We'll see what happens because he will. You have Scatterbull in the backfield. You have to account for that. But I do think he goes over 1,000 all-purpose as well. So I think both of those guys, hit those marks again for sure. What I really want to see, I want to see Darius Slayton get that 1,000 yards. That's what I want to see. If I can get 1,000 yards and like 7 to 8 touchdowns from Darius Slayton, I'll be very, very happy. Very, very happy. TD Midas says Dart had a fart. It's okay. He's a rookie at training camp. Listen, I agree with you. My man Hayes Windu, he says Hayes Windu 007. What's going on, Hayes? He says if the O-line does their job, Giants could make some noise. That's a fact. The offensive line has always been, one of the main factors in the success for the New York Giants. Not the reason, but one of the bigger, major factors, I should say. And if we do get good, if we get good offensive line play, we should be fine. Absolutely. Luann says Dart threw a lot of interceptions in college. It was normal. I wouldn't say it was a lot. It was normal though. It was normal. Again, he got some cleaning up to do. He threw more touchdowns than interceptions, man, and he made more big plays than he didn't. Outside of that collapse against Florida, it was a decent year for him. Actually, better than decent. He put up some consistent numbers on. But again, the man got to sit and develop. I don't want to see Dart this year. Outside of preseason, I don't want to see him. I don't want to. If you want to save him for the final game of the season, then fine. If the season doesn't turn out the way that we hope it turns out, then maybe after the bye week we see Jackson Dart. But for me, my goal is to not see him at all, because to me, if we don't see him at all, that means the Giants are winning games. And, as much as I like Jackson Dart, I love the Giants more than I love Jackson Dart. And I want the New York Giants to win. I don't want us to be bad just so we can throw Dart in. No, sir. No, ma'am. Tyrone, what's going on, Tyrone? He says, what's good? Tuned in late. I'm used to Tuesdays. Was watching Coach. Is Coach Ed on? My bad, Coach Ed. I didn't even check, man. Again, this was going to be a short video. I'm already at 30 minutes. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast right now. I ain't gonna be on for too much longer, man. We vibing though. We're gonna vibe for a little bit longer. Luann says Jones is going to be a good player. What Jones you talking about? You talking about Nick Jones that got the pick 6 today? Because I know you ain't talking about Daniel Jones. Hey, it says Hyatt is only worth a damn if the O-line can block for 3.5 seconds or better. I'm not going to argue against that. He needs some time to get downfield. That's for sure. Solitary Camp says when we picked Dart, I got the same feeling when we picked Jones, Jackson, who? Listen, man. I was live for the first round of the draft. Go watch my reaction, real time, when the picks came in. I'll leave it at that. It's out there. My man JJan 300 says, fam, this team has a quarterback and a new vibe. Salute to you. I love the energy. I felt the energy with that. Vibe was capitalized and everything. I felt good energy from that. Born for Sports says Gray is a fumble monster. He's gone. Listen, man. You gotta be able to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. That's all I can say. Especially when you're low on the totem pole. You can't fumble if you're low on the totem pole because you will be gone. My man Lamar Santos says, we here at work, BX. Shout out to that BX. He says, stand up, Big Blue for life. That's a fact. Brent says, looks like we had a good day. First day, came back after throwing. Oh, I'm sorry. Dart came back after throwing the pick 6. Said Dirt, what up, Big Dad? Said Dirt, pick 6. Dirt, what up, Big. I don't know how you close off that sentence. Shout out to you though, Brent. Hoping you're having a good night. Shout out to the 2 giant goofballs in the building. They had a live earlier today. They had Bobby Skinner on the show. Make sure you guys go check that out. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. When I saw it, I think you guys had just ended your live. But I'm going to go back and check that out tonight for sure. See what you guys were talking about. I believe it was a recap of practice and stuff like that. But make sure you guys subscribe to 2 Giant Goofballs. This is most likely Drew right now because I know Rob probably is asleep. Maybe sleep. I'm messing with you, Rob. But this is most likely Drew. I'm thinking it's Drew. But make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe to those guys and check out their video that they had with Bobby Skinner. Good work all the time. Consistent work all the time. That's a fact. The Giant Topic, what's going on? Another fantastic Giants content creator. If you're not subscribed to the Giant Topic, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And I said I wasn't going to talk about it to myself, right? To myself, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. But I keep saying the word fantastic Giants content creators. Yesterday, we saw that the New York Giants started a new series for training camp. They called it the Creator Series. They had content creators there. Shout out to the Scalato twins and some other people that were invited. Shout out to them. No knock to them at all. But where are your New York Giants content creators? What about our opportunities to be out there, to hang out with the players, to hang out on the field, to hang out with other fans? And I say other fans because I don't put myself in front of any other fans. And shout out to New York Revival, my man Vibes too. He had a fantastic rant last night during their live about the situation. But again, we put in a lot of hard work, man. Us Giants content creators in this community, we show a lot of love and support to one another. And yeah, man. But that just makes me want to go even harder, man. Pause. Put my head down and keep working. At one point in time, we're gonna get there. But shout out to all the New York Giants content creators that are tuned in right now, that are not tuned in right now, that rock with me. Maybe you don't rock with me. It is what it is. Yeah, much love and support, man. Much love and support. Brent said, what up? 100 Big Blue. That's a fact. My man Drew says, Hyatt can't play slot until he can learn to get off the press. I'm hoping that's what he did this year. I'm hoping the strength helps him with that. I'm hoping that's what happens. But we got to admit, playing him in the slot, not with people not being able to get a hand on him, he should be able to strive in that situation. The problem is we already got a slot on the field with Wandell, and then you have Malik Neighbors we haven't even seen him be dominant in the slot yet either. We'll see what happens. He's on an uphill battle though for sure. I just know though, whenever his number is called and there's a deep shot, I think Russ will be able to get him the ball for sure. My man Phase 114 or 114, depending on how you want me to pronounce it. He says you had to check in. It said, yo, had to check in from work. Hope they had a good training camp. They did. It was a solid practice. It was a little bit one-sided when you looked at the clips on Twitter, but it was also a good practice for the defense as well. Defense made plays as well. Yeah, Luan says Dash Giants signed a player yesterday. I forgot who it was. Kevon Wallace. It was a safety that they picked up. I think he last played for the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, though. We got to check the Carfax on that. But it was Kevon Wallace, a safety that they picked up. Hold on a second. Shout out to the New York Giants Cup. I got my medium Pepsi right here. Medium Pepsi. Shout out to the medium Pepsis out there. All right. Two Giant Goofball says, does Hyatt hit 100 yards? Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm going to say yes. We need that positive energy. I'm going to say yes. And does he tie Andrew Thomas in career touchdown receptions this year? I'm hoping that he gets at least one. I'm hoping that he breaks Andrew Thomas's career touchdown reception record this year. Just need to. Like, it's crazy, too, because Hyatt's only touchdown was in his rookie year in preseason. He would have had a touchdown against the Cardinals if that ball was placed a little bit better. If he didn't have to wait for that pass from Daniel Jones, he might have had a touchdown that week. And who knows? It would have been like that one point in time where things change and the future is altered and another universe is created. And he becomes 1,000-yard wide receiver. Let me get out of my Marvel bag right now, though. Let me leave it alone. Lamar Santos says, hey, yo, you getting on the sticks. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. The controller. I don't listen. That's Jonathan Pride's job to do, is to catch, the question marks. Solitary says, how many sacks how many sacks is Burns getting? I think he cracks double digits. I think he cracks double digits this year. I just think it's too many players, getting after it for him not to get double digit sacks. I think he should be able to do that. I also think that Dexter Lawrence is going to get double-digit sacks this year from the nose tackle position. I think this is a year that Dex gets all of his respect. He's already getting a lot of respect around the league, but I think this is that first team all-pro season, loading for Dexter Lawrence, for sure. Dennis says, I want to see Tracy in a Marshall Faulk role. Listen, first of all, Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer. Revolutionized the running back position. I'm giving a lot of credit for that. Him, LaDainian Tomlinson, as far as running backs getting involved in the receiving game. Marshall Faulk was heavy, had a heavy hand in that. I love it. I don't want to say Marshall Faulk because that's just incredible shoes to try to fill or something like that. What's the kid from the Saints? Kamara. I want to see him used like a Kamara because I think he has a similar skill set. I will be happy with that, and then we could start talking Marshall Faulk after that. But baby steps, it's stages to this thing. There's levels, to this thing. But I understand where you're going with that, and I would love it. Matt Young, what's going on, Matt? He says, with a good quarterback now and 15 more targets, Slayton easily gets 100. Yeah, I said, listen, man, if he can crack 70 catches, he's cracking 1,000 yards, in my opinion. Because if he can get almost 600 yards off of 39 catches, then he can crack 1,000 off 70, 75 for sure. He just got to be able to get those targets. Like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has a job in front of him for sure. I outside of being more consistent at the quarterback, you got a lot of receivers that are going to be demanding the ball. The good thing is, and I say this respectfully, in my opinion, right now, we only have one diva as far as wide receivers go. That's Malik Neighbors. I think the guys that play in that room with Malik Neighbors, Wandell and Slayton, I think they have the right personality to be the sidekicks to Malik Neighbors and not get frustrated if there's a game where they get 3 targets and then, Malik gets 15, 16. They got the right mental makeup to be, players next to Malik Neighbors, in my opinion, right now. Because a lot of people were saying, like, what's the kid from the Bengals when he was what's the kid from the Bengals name? I can't remember his name right now. I think it's number 5. He's number 5 too. Well, everybody wanted him. Everybody wanted him. They wanted to trade for him. And he's one of those guys that, if you don't get him the ball, he's going to be upset and he's going to let you know. In this situation that we're in right now, Malik Neighbors is literally like the only wide receiver that falls into that category of I need the ball in order to be happy type deal. He wants to win, obviously, but he feels like if you get him the ball, it's going to contribute and give you a better chance of winning, which I understand. And that's how all wide receivers should feel. But for me, I think that Slayton does get 1,000 yards, but I also think that, for Slayton, it's more about winning. Shout out to my man Solitary. He says Tracy reminds him of Matt Forte. I actually like that. A lot. Matt Forte, Chicago Bears. I like that comparison because he was versatile too. I like that a lot. Solitary, kudos to you. I like that a lot. Luann says, I believe we're going to the playoffs once we clinch, then throw Dart in. Wait a minute. Hold on. I was with you. You said, I believe we're. Oh, I got you now. I was about to say, wait a minute, pump the brakes, Luann. Okay, I got you. You're saying, once we clinch the playoffs, then throw Dart in there. To end the regular season, almost like how the Kansas City Chiefs did with Mahomes. Absolutely. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but I believe that's where you're going with that, right? I believe so. A lot of people saying they need to see them pads come on. We got Brooklyn in the house. Shout out to East New York. Zay says, I was in the building today. Abdul is crazy athletic. Backflip, no problem. I saw it again. You missed what I said earlier. It's fantastic that he's able to do a backflip. I don't want him doing backflips, though. I don't need no freak accident, stubbing of the toe because you want to do a backflip. I'm sorry. I know you're excited. The fans was out there. It was energy in the building. Keep both feet on the ground. Stay on the ground, young fella. We don't need nothing happening. And maybe the coach said something to him, too, about that. But a lot of people just saw that and said, wow, he's athletic. I remember JPP doing backflips. Like, we've seen it before. I'm happy that he's that athletic. I don't want to see him doing no more backflips, though. That's just me. I'm old school, man. Don't do no unnecessary stuff. I still hate when people jump into the end zone. I still hate that because I don't want no unnecessary injury. So a guy doing a backflip, I'm going to feel a certain way about it. Grumpy old man. MKM says, I see some Jackson Dart highlights, and he's not like Daniel Jones. Listen, man, he's not. He's not. And again, one thing about Jackson Dart, he's going to let that ball go, man. But I will say this, though. When I watched the highlights today, when I looked at both Jameis Winston and when I looked at Russell Wilson, I count Mississippi's, right? 7, especially in 7-on-7s. I count Mississippi's because you're not dealing with any kind of pass rush, but you still need to be able to make quick decisions. And all day today, from what I saw from Russell Wilson, even from what definitely from what I saw with Russell Wilson, there were a couple times where Jameis Winston decided to scramble. Jameis Winston really shouldn't be scrambling. But when I saw Jackson Dart, especially on the pass to Theo, actually, no, that's a bad example. The pass to Theo Johnson was a bad snap, and he was able to collect it and then still get the touchdown pass off to Theo Johnson. There was another play where I think it's when it was a check down in the end zone, front corner of the end zone. It could have been, actually, I don't know who the wide receiver. I got to go back and watch it. But you know, you don't have, especially in the red zone, you don't got 4 or 5 seconds to make a play. I'm sorry, not in the red zone. 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, fire. You ain't getting that 4th Mississippi and 5 Mississippi. If that's the case, you're sacked. You're sacked. Or take off, one of those. But that's just me. Shout out to the Big Moo in the building. He says, yo, Big Dash, got a late notification. Listen, don't blame me for that. That's YouTube. That's YouTube. But I will say this, though. I did not create the live until 5 minutes before I went on. This is one of those impromptu situations. For me, it was, like I said, for me on the West Coast, for me, it was like 7:15, 10:15 y'all time. And I said, you know what? I feel like talking to the people. And I just set it up right then and there so that it wasn't really a late notification, unless you just talking about your notification bell didn't go off till now. Then that's something different. He said, yes, Rob is asleep. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at. I am 12 minutes behind. I'm going. Listen, I apologize to everybody. I'm going all the way down to catch up to the chat, and then I'm going to work my way backwards. So let me see what's going on real quick. So shout out to my man William. He says Giants. Whoop, too fast. He says Giants will shock the league, looking good on the field in training camp. Shout out to you, William. Were you at the training camp practice today? Let me know. Dennis says I don't like nothing but a spike after a touchdown, but maybe a dance if a fat guy scores. Nothing better than seeing a fat guy score than seeing a fat guy dance. John Madden, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. My man TJ says Cali guy in Arizona is in the house. That's what's up. Again, like I said, one thing, yeah, that's the one thing I don't miss, man. That's the one thing I don't. I like being in that West Coast time zone where football comes on, the NFL comes on at 10 o'clock in the morning. Breakfast and football, literally. The Giant Topic says, I'm seeing fans complaining about interceptions on the timeline will always kill me. Just glad to have football back. Now, that's a fact. That's a fact. Luann says, Giants guys, Slayton ain't trash. Oh, I missed the comment. Somebody called Slayton trash. T. Higgins, thank you, Zay. T. Higgins. That's what I was talking about earlier. Everybody wanted T. Higgins. Then it says, yes, Big Dash, you see the possibility that I see baby steps. Yes, if Tracy becomes a better Reggie Bush. Woof. Okay. Giants guy called Dark trash. Giants guy also says Darius Slayton, trash overpaid. I don't know if he's overpaid. He's making regular money for a guy that's in those years. But also, I understand why people say that. I understand. I think he actually did turn down more money. I believe it was Atlanta that was going to offer him more money than us, and he decided to stay. So, man, listen, it is what it is. Listen, we ain't going to have no slander, no Darius Slayton slanders. Zay says, sign OBJ for a farewell tour. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. That boat has sailed. I see he's trying hard, though. Pause. I saw him. He put out he was practicing in Giants gear. He had his Giants helmet out there on the field with him. He wants to get reunited, man. He wants a reunion with the New York Giants. And he's pushing for that. We'll see what happens, man. But me, for right now, nah. If somebody goes down, then we might have to talk about some things. I think that ship has sailed, though, man. It becomes nostalgic after a while, right? Anthony Green says, Dash, do you think we should sign Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper right now? No. I'm cool with the room that we have right now. And like I just said, if somebody goes down, then maybe, and at that time, maybe those guys are gone already. But no. I think we're good right now with the wide receiver room that we have. You know, and also I like some of the young UDFAs that are coming up too, man. Like, again, we can't keep signing over the players that we drafted too, man. These guys got to get on the field now. If they prove themselves to be horrible, then it is what it is. But Keenan Allen, and Amari Cooper are out there for a reason. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, in my opinion. And I think, I don't think they mind either. They don't have to go through the grueling training camp right now, but they will be a lot of teams' first call if somebody goes down. I can see one of those guys end up in not San Diego, end up in LA with the Chargers though, for sure. I saw a play today where Quentin, what's his name? Quentin Johnson. Yeah, he dropping passes already in practice. Can't be doing that. TJ says OBJ can help Hyatt build and can help Hyatt fast build a similar SEC receiver. Listen. I'm not mad at anybody that can help Hyatt out. Help him reach his potential. Saying OBJ can do that. I'm pretty sure he's reached out to OBJ. OBJ got his own things going on. I don't think he's trying to mentor anybody right now. And if he gets on the Giants, I do believe that OBJ is trying to play. So I don't know if he's in the business of helping anybody right now, or individuals, I should say. He's in the business of helping out a team if he can. I mean, we saw him at Miami last year. Non-factor, man. Respectfully, I thought at one point in time OBJ was a Hall of Fame like shoo-in for me. I thought it was a shoo-in, and then now OBJ's not getting in the Hall of Fame, man. Unfortunately, well, at least right now, in my opinion, I don't think he makes it to the Hall of Fame, and that's sad. I blame Gettleman for that. I blame Gettleman for that. But guess what? If we don't get that OBJ trade, then Dexter Lawrence might not be here. You know what I mean? So every action has a reaction. It just is what it is. Get here. Okay, I think I'm all caught up now. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. Again, I just don't want to miss any of these comments. I think I'm all caught up. My man, Two Giant Goofball says OBJ isn't even close to a Hall of Famer. Injuries killed his career. And that's a fact, man. It's sad, man. It's sad because OBJ was one of them ones, man. For real. Shout out to my man TP Way, the Giant in the building. He says Peach Dash in the chat. He says, y'all see my quarterback won today. Yeah, Shout out to Russell Wilson. Bill Whaley says, do you really want that ego in our locker room? You know what? Let me ask you a question, Bill. Do you think OBJ still has an ego? I think with all of the injuries and the past couple of cups of coffee that he had with certain teams, I think that humbled him a lot. So I think he's way more mature than what he was when he left here. But like again, for me, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. My man Brian, what's going on? What's going on, Brian? Zay says, can Bowen get this defense humming? I mean, he has all the tools. Pressure is on him. That's a fact. Been saying that for a while now. We got the ingredients. We just need Shane Bowen to chef something up. And it shouldn't be that hard either. I'm not saying that you could run this defense on autopilot or anything like that. But man, you got the pieces, man. You got to make something happen, man. Two Giant Google says OBJ still has an ego. You can see it in his see it by his post. I just think he's still trying to show confidence and belief in himself. I wouldn't necessarily can you really have an ego still? Especially, I don't know about personal life, but when it comes to football, I saw the clip the post that he had with his son in front of MetLife, and talked about some of the plays and the history that he had and stuff like that. Do you consider that a little egotistical? If that's the case, then I can't argue your point. But I'm just saying, for me, it's no way that he can still be that cocky, right? Pause. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson in the building. What's going on, Mark? He says, hey, Dash, just letting you know I've been listening as I'm working. I appreciate the love and support as always, Mark. Shout out to you. Hopefully the weather is beautiful out there in Barbados. And when you say you're at work, you probably have an ocean view. Doing a lot better than a lot of us out here, man, for sure. Two Giant Goofball says, I love how everyone is worried about Shane Bowen, always as if the defense has been the problem. See, this episode is not going to be long enough for that. Pause. I know where you're going. Last year, the defense really wasn't that bad of a problem when you think about it. The offense couldn't score points. We weren't playing complimentary football. We couldn't sustain drives, and like I just said before, we couldn't score any touchdowns. There were times where 3 and out. Defense got the offense the ball, and we also did a 3 and out and put them right back on the field. So now you listen, yeah, that's I wouldn't even say that's a deeper conversation, but that's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about or don't want to talk about. There's certain games that I look at Bowen like, what are you doing? Because some games it's like, hey, you want to blitz the quarterback and it's working, and then some games you don't want to bring the pressure. You think you can survive with 4, and we're getting killed out there. But it is what it is. Bill Whaley says, bring back the NASCAR package. You will see a version of that for sure this year. There's going to be series and plays and schemes that have the big 3. That's a new nickname that I saw floating around Twitter when it comes to Tibbs, Burns, and Carter, the big 3. We're going to see a couple packages with those guys out there. It'll be some version of a NASCAR package, but it won't be that traditional NASCAR package that we, love. It'll be something different. We also got to be able to get teams in 3rd and long in order to get that version of this NASCAR package too. Mark Thompson laughed. He says, I'm going to be in New York July 30th to August 5th. We'll be at camp July 31st. So you heard him. If you're at camp on July 31st, make sure you show some love for Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson is a celebrity. You see him out there hanging out with all the people, especially all the Giants content creators and the beat writers. Mark Thompson be making his rounds around here. Shout out to Mark Thompson. Zay says OBJ is a New York legend, not coming here to be that guy, but to be a vet and making minimal plays, to be a 4th option. Listen, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. It would be a fantastic story for Wandell, good Lord, for OBJ to come back and have a farewell tour or something like that, or some type of reunion with the New York Giants. That's nostalgic. But I don't see it, man. If it happens, cool. I'm not going to be 100% against it. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't see it happening. Zay says Wink with the defense would be, Wink with this defense would have been something different for sure. Yeah, Wink with this defense, with having a press corner like Paulson Adebo as well. Yeah, Wink messed that up though. Blame Wink for that. Wink. Yeah, I talked about it in one of those other lives. That whole Wink situation was different. Can't blame. Listen, he wanted to be the boss. He wasn't the boss. It is what it is. You can't have 2 head coaches. And you can't walk around like you're the head coach of the defense. No, you're the defensive coordinator. It is what it is. Luann, good night. Make sure you're up for work tomorrow, man. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully you get a good night rest. Robbie Garn says, hey, boss. He says, glad I caught you live. How you doing? I'm doing good, Robbie. Giants training camp started today. I'm happy about it. Heard good things. Saw some great clips. Happy about that too. I'm excited. My man Drew says, I think Carter replaces McFadden on 3rd downs. That is something that could happen for sure. T. Mark Molden says Cruz over OBJ, no drama. You're going to start an argument in the chat, man. I got Cruz over OBJ too, man. That's a fact. Super Bowl's got something to do with it. Shout out to my man Prince Castro in the building. As you can see what he says here, he says TP Way, fee, fi, fo, fum. TP Way has been saying that. That's his moniker. Shout out to my man Prince Castro. Prince Castro was saying that for a while too. Shout out to my man Prince Castro for real. Two giant goofballs. He says OBJ is a wide receiver version of Tebow. Oh boy. Tebow is quarterback. You don't want your backups getting all of the hype and distracting from the team goal. I actually, you know what? That's funny, but it's true. Because it will get a lot of, it will get a lot of press. It will become a thing. Absolutely. And there's no way that you can like sneak OBJ on the field. Nah. Listen, we already at an hour. I'm about to wrap things up, man. Again, I appreciate the love and support. 68 people in here strong still. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Shout out to New York Giants. Shout out to the Big Blue Nation. Brian Howard says, if we had decent quarterback play last season, we would have been deep in the playoffs. I don't disagree with that. My man Phase 114 says, the OBJ era is over. We don't want Justin Bieber on the sidelines either. Nah, that's hilarious. Robbie Garnes says Wink was acting the fool. He absolutely was. Because at first I was mad when we lost Wink. And then, like, after the fact, you just heard about all of the stories and the stuff that was going on with him changing the time for the meetings and stuff like that. And it was some diabolical stuff happening with Wink. Diabolical. My man Kyle Gluckney says, do you think Abdul Carter will come in and have a immediate? Yes, absolutely. I think that happens. I think that does happen. Bill Whaley says OBJ would pull defense and he still would be able. You have to respect OBJ when he's on the field for sure, and let our guys get open. I'm just hoping that somebody else on the squad currently can do that as well. We kind of hope that Jalen Hyatt was going to be that person to kind of stretch the field and take some of the attention away from the underneath routes. We just haven't seen it yet. But that's what I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping that all these guys together right now, the way this wide receiver room is currently constructed, that they can do those type of things. Robbie Garnes says, thank God training camp started. My Yankees are a big, fat disappointment, man. Listen, I don't think I'm betting any more Yankee games. I stay losing money with the Yankees. Prince Castro said for years. Now, that's a fact, man. We can pull up some of our older videos. You had the hashtag FI4FUM going. Now, that's a fact. I can vouch for that. T Mark says, peace dash, let's go Giants. Also said maybe Wink's check was short. No, I don't think his check was short. I think he was just power tripping. Just remember, what was it? When we hired Joe Judge, we interviewed Wink for the head coaching job that year, that cycle, and he didn't get it. He came back to be the defensive coordinator. Wink Martindale has been on a lot of head coaching interviews. He's never gotten the job. You got to feel a certain way about things. And to my point, or the point that I'm trying to make is, I believe that Wink Martindale thought he knew better than Brian Daboll. I just believe that wholeheartedly, and he behaved in that way. And when you're the head coach, and even after the season, before he ended up leaving, he still said at the exiting presser, he expected Wink Martindale to be back. At that same time, Wink Martindale was on a flight to Florida, gone, and we didn't hear from him for weeks. He was on a milk carton for weeks. It is what it is, though. We passed that. Harvey Ave, what's going on? Harvey says it's up and it's stuck. We ain't stunting nobody this year. We ain't stunting nobody this year. May not win a lot, but we definitely gonna be that team nobody want to play. Big New York Giants facts. That's a fact. Absolutely. Respect at the end of the day. That's my number one agenda right now for the 2025 New York Giants, is getting our respect back. And whatever it takes to get our respect back, that's what I want to happen this year. If doing that gets us to the playoffs, fine. If doing that gets us to the Super Bowl, fantastic. But the bottom line is being a respected franchise again, and that's all I'm worried about right now. That's all I'm focused on right now, and it starts week 1. I'm trying to put the pause on the Washington Commanders week 1. I can't wait. And when we beat the Washington Commanders week 1, boy, tune in to Twitter because it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be an absolute show. Shout out to my man Corinne in the building. He says, glad to hear the theme song is back. Which theme song we talking about? Which theme song we talking about? It's just talking about the background music, maybe. Robbie Garn says, hey, he says, hey, guy. He says, gotta go. Have a great night. God bless. Don't worry about it, Robbie. I'm about to shut this thing down right now. Right now. Just want to get through these last couple of comments. Zay says, week 1 will tell us a lot about this season and the team. That's a fact. Brent says, let's go, Big Blue. You still on Big Dash? Big Dash, pause. He says, I'm somebody. I'm somebody says they was looking good, man. Yeah, that's what I heard. Everybody keeps saying the same thing. I'm happy about it, man. I'm happy about it. Brent laughing at me. Yeah, now, that's a fact, man. Like I said, I expected to do a half an hour. Shout out to my man that said in the beginning, he said a quick talk and he laughed at me. You were absolutely right. Here we are, almost an hour and a half. But yeah, I'm going to shut things down. And again, we got another training camp practice tomorrow. I'm hoping that we see more good things. And who knows, man, if I feel good enough, I might do another live tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do a recap, though. I keep the recaps coming. Again, hard work, dedication, the Giants content community. All we do is put in the work. And hopefully, one point in time, we get the recognition from the Giants because we already get a lot of love from the fan base. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Maybe one day all of us, and I'm talking about the entire Giants content community, will get the respect that I feel that, a lot of us deserve at the end of the day. Put in a lot of work, put in a lot of hours, man. And we do it out of the love because we ain't getting paid a lot of money. I don't care what anybody tell you. In the Giants content community, we ain't making a lot of money doing this. Nah, that's a fact, man. Shout out to everybody. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation.